I show it is Wednesday, July 5th at 6:15 PM, and I like to call to order the Finance and Personnel Committee. The roll call is Alder McAllister,
Present.
Alder Stokes here. Alder Knott is not here yet. We have not heard from him. But he may be just running a little bit late. I'd like to, item number 2 is the consideration and action on the minutes from the previous meeting, which was the June 7th meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll second it. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Item number 2 passes. Item number 3 is public input. If there's anyone here or online that would like to speak regarding their public input, please indicate by your name and your address, and you have up to 3 minutes per individual. Per individual. Does anyone wish to speak? Okay. Second call. Does anyone wish to speak? Third and final call. Public input is now closed. Finance portion of the meeting. Item number 4, presentation of the 2022 audit financials from Hawkins Ash CPAs LLP. Sabrina, would you like to introduce this item?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. So kind of our yearly progress, yearly we have to go and get an audit report every year due to the fact that we're a local municipality and we're a city. So every year we engage with an audit firm who comes in and basically reviews all my work. So this year we are engaged with Hawkins Ash CPAs. They came in and they did do a financial statement audit as well as a single audit. So in all of your mailboxes, and after it gets approved tonight, we'll put it on our website as well, was a copy of the financial statements, a copy of the management letter, a copy of the federal and state single audit report. And then lastly, what Justin here is going to report on tonight is the summary financial statements. So I'll introduce Justin Peterson, who's a manager at Hawkins Ash CPAs, and he's going to present to you on those summary financials and answer any other questions that you have.
Justin, if I could just pause for just a moment. I'm sorry that I did not recognize the people that were in the audience. Alder Diane Wolf, Mayor Smith, Chief Ashbeck, Amy Franzen, HR Director, and of course Sabrina Steger.
And then online is Karen Markwart, who's our accounting and payroll supervisor, and Jared Holter, Director of Public Works.
Okay, again, I apologize, Justin. Please go ahead.
No problem. As Sabrina said, my name is Justin Peterson. I'm an audit manager with Hawkins Ash CPAs, and I've been working on the engagement the last 10 years with the city. And also she said that you guys will have 4 reports: the full audited financial statements, the federal and state single audit report, the independent auditors report with those charged with governance, and then the summary financial report. For purposes of today, we have the summarized report, but going forward after today, I would refer to either the full audited financial statement report or the single audit report, depending on what you're looking at. That'll have full GAAP required disclosures and has all the information. Summaries just for the purposes of time. So if we go to the summary financial statement report, first page will be just a table of contents, pretty general. Next from there is a summarized independent auditors report. So in the full financial statements, this is where we would give our opinion on the financial statements. The opinion that we did give was an unmodified or clean opinion. And then this just has an added note stating these are summary financial statements, don't have full disclosures. Going forward to page 3, this is kind of just an outlook. This would be everything added together into one column compared to 2021. some items of note. There was a new lease standard that was added this year, so you'll see leases on here. That was accounting standard, GASB standard 87. That was implemented finally this year. So that's something that you'll see that kind of stands out a little bit. Another item of note, if you look down at the bottom under equity, there's a comparison of the component fund balance, major enterprise fund balances, general fund balances, and other fund balances. Those will be covered a little bit more later in the, but they're shown presentation wise compared to 2021. The next page, so this is showing a 4-year running of your general fund balance in the green, and then the other funds in the blue, showing healthy fund balances, but more importantly, showing increasing fund balances. You guys, your balance has been slowly growing over the last 4 years. No really concerns with where your fund balance is as of right now. And then this page shows your general fund revenue compared to last year and compared to your budget. A couple items of note here. State grants received in the current year were increased higher than what was initially budgeted, along with your building permit and inspection fees, and then some of the park and rec fees. Obviously, a lot of that stuff has to do the past couple of years with the COVID stuff and some of these programs being canceled. Just back to more normal rates in the current year. This pie chart here just breaks up of what makes up the general fund's revenue. This is pretty comparable to what you budget your revenue and pretty comparable to a municipality this size, what makes up its money. Typically, the taxes is a big portion of it. And then this is your general fund expenditures compared to budget in prior year. This very comparable to what your budget was. The important aspect was that it was below your budget. You didn't overspend your budget, which is a state statute. Again, some areas where expenses increased in the current year were park and rec. Obviously, with those programs and those revenues going up, the expenses went up as well. This is showing the makeup of where your general expenses go. Public safety, obviously being a huge portion of that, as that is a large portion of your general budget. But then as you can see, the breakups, general government, public works, and culture and rec. This paper shows the change in your fund balances for your major enterprise funds. So we're looking at water, sewer, stormwater. Some items to note, if you look at the bottom where it says change in net position, all of them have positive changes, growing fund balances. And which is obviously what we're looking for with these enterprise funds. This is a little bit different from what we were just looking at on the last page. These are actually showing your operating incomes and operating losses. As you can see, the water has a healthy operating income. Sewers above and stormwater's just slightly below with an operating loss. This is one item that typically used when you're looking at are these entities, I guess, properly funded or the rates properly there? But as you can see, water and sewer are doing pretty good. This one, we're going over all the remaining fund balances. So all the different funds that make up for the city, broken up into special revenue, debt service, the capital projects that are still open, and then the enterprise below. This is just really just showing a full picture of what's out there as of 12/31/2022. And then to finish up, this is more of an informational page. This summarizes some of the other reports that were reported on the full financial statements, and then also in the federal awards work paper. Independent auditors report, as I said, an unmodified or clean opinion. That's the best opinion I guess you can receive. The next paragraph discusses what were reported on for the major programs for the federal and state single audit. That as well had an unmodified or clean opinion, and there were no non-compliance or controls issues noted. As I guess we talked earlier, the federal major program that was tested was the ARPA funding, and then the state program tested was transit or the shared ride program. As you go down, you see some more information on general capital assets, current year additions. There were $3.2 million in general fixed assets added in the current year, and kind of where they were broken up to 1.5 in infrastructure, purchase of land, park improvement, and then 640,000 of it was in ongoing projects. And then this chart just kind of gives you a breakdown of that. As for water, sewer, and stormwater, current additions were 2.5 million. And of that 2.5 million, 1.5 of that was from private developer contributions. And then lastly, the long-term debt. In total, your general obligation long-term debt had decreased this year of $1 million or a little bit over 1 million. And then there is like a debt limit that goes based off the city's equalized value. 5% of that is the maximum limit of general obligation debt the city could have. And as you can see, 42 million, you're far below the max you could have, I guess. The last two reports are speaking on internal control over financial reporting. In our opinion, the city's internal controls appear to be adequate for a city your size. And then we did not identify any material non-compliance with that. Do you guys have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you. I mean, you summarized that absolutely perfectly. You've answered all of my questions, which is awesome. So thank you so much for your time.
Sabrina.
I guess the only thing that I would note is that, Justin, in your opinion, based on our fund balance and our operating income versus our expenses, our net income for our water fund, should we be considering a simplified rate case? Or have further discussions, at least with you and with Monica regarding a simplified rate case? Or do you think it's not necessary to look into at this time?
The simplified rate case is something that I would always kind of look into, just because you don't want to get to the point where 6 years down the road, you have to do a full rate case and it ends up being 40%, 50%. The simplified rate case is kind of meant for dealing with things like inflation and looking at that route. So I would say looking at a simplified rate case and just doing a quick look at your numbers, look at your rates is always a good idea to look into.
Thank you.
And because the Public Service Commission actually sets the rates for water, and we can't do that ourselves. So even looking at, we had operating revenue higher in 2021 and a little bit lower in 2022, but that could be people using less water, or it could just be the rate that was set also.
Yep.
Do either Aldernaut or Mayor Kim, do you have any questions for Justin? Chief Ashbeck, is there anything? Okay, well then, do I hear a motion to approve and place on file?
I will make the motion to approve and place on file.
Okay, I will second that. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Okay, and we will approve it and place it on file. Thank you. And item number 5 is the 2023 general funds financials. Sabrina?
All right, thank you. So in your packets tonight, starting on page 14, is the balance sheet for the general fund. Again, this goes through May 31st of 2023, so kind of a month out from where we're currently sitting. And as you can see, if you continue going down to page, I believe it is page 17, starts the budget report. You take a look at page 19, our revenue totals for year to date through May 31st of 2023, you can see remaining is 18.83% to get us to what we budgeted. I can tell you as of May 31st of 2022, that budget percentage remaining was 19.06. So we are actually ahead of where we were in 2022. A couple of things that are still kind of outstanding, some bigger dollar values that we're still waiting to get from the state slash I know for sure will happen. If on page 17, you can see the shared revenue from the state, fire insurance from the state, and the state aid road allotment, as well as the connecting streets. These are dollar figures that come throughout the year. I did just receive notice today, actually, of our state aid for the roads coming in. So likely by the time you see this, well, that came in July. Likely by the time you see July, you'll see these figures kind of being closer to that zero, as in the percentage remaining. Also, one other thing of note, you see this really large unfavorable variance for fire protection service. What that is our agreement with the town of Onalaska, and I will be working on getting a bill out to them here in the next week or two. So that's revenues. If you continue on in the packet, I'm kind of going through a lot of pages here to the end of our budget report. I'd like to just kind of point out our total expenses. So this is on page 31. The percent remaining for expenses is 62.98%. As of May 31st of 2022, it was 62.05. So again, still kind of ticking a little higher than where we were in 2022. So all in all, I think we're in a good spot.
And just for the record, Alder Knott has been able to join us.
Yeah, sorry I'm running late.
Okay, so
What agenda item are we on? I'm sorry.
we are just finished or are currently on item number 5.
Okay, thank you.
So I would like the motion to accept and place on file.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2023 general fund financials and place on file.
I'll second that. Any discussion at all? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nothing? Okay, so item number 5 passes. And item number 6 is the Omni Center financials. And Sabrina, if you could walk us through that.
Thank you. So next in your packet, starting on page 33, is the balance sheet for the Omni Center. Behind the balance sheet, starting on page 36, is our budget report for the Omni Center. Year to date for revenues, again through May 31st, is 41.26% remaining of revenues compared to what we budgeted. In May of 2022, we were at 42.52%. So again, we're doing better than what we were in 2022. Then if you continue on to page 38, you'll see our total expense total. The percent remaining in expenses is 48.57%. In regards to comparison for May 31st of 2022, we are at 54.98%. Some of that difference is we did have some of the branding items kind of carry over into 2023, and those are sitting in a reserved fund balance, so that we're just seeing the expense. We're not necessarily seeing the revenue offset. Also, other figures that are a little higher than budgeted is, I believe it was like our concession sales, things of that nature. So we have to sometimes spend money to make money. But overall, I feel pretty confident in where we're at in regards to the Omni Center. Hopefully coming in another year where we have a surplus.
Okay, thank you, Sabrina. Do I have a motion to accept and place on file?
So, go ahead.
I'll make the motion to accept the 2023 Omni Center financials as outlined by Sabrina.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion at all? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, we have passed item number 6, and that will end the finance portion. Thank you, Sabrina, for all your hard work and getting this ready to go. Sabrina explained to me, I was talking to her, and just to let you know that there's a section in the financial statements with the independent auditors report that starts on page 6 and goes for several pages after that. It's called the management discussion and analysis section. And this is very helpful to go through and kind of get an idea. And this is all put together by Sabrina. And then it goes through Hawkins Ash for, but I had indicated to her that it made it a lot easier to go through and to really understand what the numbers mean and so forth. So thank you again for doing all of that. Okay, we'll go to personnel. Item number 7, recruitment update from Human Resources Director Amy Franzen.
Good evening. As you can see from the memo before you, we did fill a police officer position in last month in June. As you recall, we have the ability or the approval to overfill 2 positions with the anticipated retirements that are upcoming in the department. The chief is also, we are working together to get the second posting up and ready so we can start filling that second vacancy as well. We also filled our assistant municipal court clerk part-time position last month as well. We had 5 part-time firefighters start as well in June. And then in other hiring, we are looking at establishing a date for that police investigator position, likely this fall sometime. In the process of the city administrator position, our fire chief, we did complete those interviews and are in the process of going through the next steps for that finalist. Planning associate, we actually, since this memo, have extended an offer and are working together at creating a start date for that position. Police officer, like I said, we're in the process of getting that posting ready. And we also just posted our HR generalist position, and that will be posted throughout the month of July.
Do I? And that, we don't need a motion for that. That's just an update. Item number 8, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned at 6:40 PM. Thank you.